there was a lot of panic about Corbin Burnes' recent starts in spring training. Me and Rip have talked about how different guys during spring training, their approach is different, whether they're trying to make the team and they're giving it their all, or if they're trying to tweak stuff. How throughout your career did your perspective of spring training, if at all, change, and how it went from, I need to make the team to, okay, am I just making sure my timing's right? Do I have to get extra reps in the field? Like, how did you evolve in, by the end, was it something just clockwork? You showed up and you're like, I have to get this many at bats, I have to do this, and then I'll be good for the season.
It really varies from player to player. Mm-hmm. But I think when you're a veteran guy and you've had success in the big leagues, like a Corbin Burnes, all he's worried about is getting his innings in and making sure that he's got his pitches ready to roll once the opening day starts and once the season gets going. I'll give you an example. I played with a guy named Josh Beckett. Tons of respect for Josh Beckett.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Favorite teammates. Incredible pitcher. He's a guy, especially as he moved along in his career, he used spring training to work on things. He'd start an outing and say, you know what, I'm going to work on fastball command. I don't care about my breaking ball. I don't care if I get hit around. I'm working on my fastball command this start. Then the very next start, I'm making sure I'm landing my breaking ball. Then I'm going to make sure if it's 2 strikes, I'm going to make sure it's a chase pitch and I'm not going to throw it for a strike. He would do that throughout his start. He's not worried about a result. He's worried about feel, making sure his pitchers are ready to go when the season starts. A guy like Corbin Burnes, guys, we got a chance to see him when I'm with the Dodgers for many postseasons since he was with the Brewers. He's a guy that has nasty stuff. He knows exactly what he's doing on the mound. He's pitched in big games. So his spring training numbers, I wouldn't even bat an eye to. As long as he's healthy, he's an absolute stud, and you want him taking the mound.
Wait, so are you saying that a Cy Young winner, we shouldn't panic that he's doing poorly while he's just working on things during spring training? Because I was told the sky was falling from people.
You guys remember a guy named Harold Baines?
Of course you remember Bainesy. Oh, yeah.
Baines, Hall of Famer. He was besides my dad, he was probably my favorite player on the White Sox growing up as a kid. I ended up playing with Harold Baines. We were teammates when I was with the Orioles. Harold Baines was probably the worst hitter in spring training history. He just couldn't hit in spring training. But Bainesy, we call him Sleep. That was his nickname, meaning he could hit in his sleep. So once the bell rings, he knew exactly what he needed to do to make sure he got his hits, and he's a Hall of Famer. So guys that know and had success throughout their big league career, spring training is just, hey, I'm just going to use it to get ready, and I'll be ready to go when the bell rings.
I thought this was an interesting comment for those that are reading here, saying most of the starters had a lousy looking spring. Hopefully nothing to worry about, light switch for pros, but they turn it on when they need it, which is, to change that tune. But the point being is, as Jerry was alluding to for everyone that's listening, each player, once they've been there for a while, they know what they have to do. And only they really truly know what their routine has to be. And if they go 0 for 100 with 100 Ks, no player wants to do that in spring training. I don't care how talented you are, but as long as you feel like you can turn it on and be ready for the season, because that's where it's going to matter. 162. And the ones that have been there and done that, Bainesy being one of them, it's the same thing. I remember hearing stories too, Jerry, with like Eddie Murray coming down, and Eddie just couldn't hit anything at all. Eddie was like, it was like, is Eddie going to be okay? Well, Eddie's going to be fine. He's going to hit a lot of bombs, and he's going to be one of the best players in Orioles history.